Another DJs BrewTube beers review. That's right, you guys, you heard me say beers. Today, folks, we're gonna triple header it. That's right, we're doing 3 beers, all from Boston Brewing Company, or Samuel Adams, as you know, out of Boston, Massachusetts, US of A. Yay, yay. And we're gonna ride the Rebel, I don't know, roller coaster today. That's right, we're gonna have all 3 of the Rebel IPAs. We're gonna have the Rebel Rider, the Rebel IPA, and the Reber Rouser DIPA today. That's right, all 3 of them back to back, side to side. And I saw my buddy Dar over at Dar's Beer Review. Shout out to you, my brother. Do a cuvee or a combination or a blend of a couple. I think he was doing like Ruination and Ruination 2.0 the other day. Combined them and said, man, this tastes great together. So at the end, we're going to do a cuvee of those 3. Now, we have 3 beers, all 3 are the same temperature, and we have 3 glasses all the same size, and in between, we're going to have a little bit of water, and we're going to compare them side by side and give a grade to each one. So this video is not super long. Let's get into our friend Rebel Rider IPA. Now, this is a session IPA. Clocks in at 4.5% ABV and 45 IBUs. Now, these beers are all about the hops, and they're using a plethora of hops in this beer. They're using Citra, Centennial, Simcoe, Topaz, and Cascade. Now, all 3 of these beers use the Sam Adams House Ale yeast. So, let's crack into this bad boy and see what's up with the Rebel Rider. Now, as you know, oh, nice big hiss off the top. I have been looking for a session beer for a long time that I really like. Some folks really dig this one. All these are equally fresh, by the way, too. It took me a couple months to find them all about the same, freshness, since they came out in stages. But here we go. All right, let's pour this one. We'll do about a half, and we'll recap the rest. Okay, so appearance on this one. It is a fizzy golden yellow, looks like a kind of a lager almost look, like kind of like a stereotypic beer or a macro lager. We got a 1-finger head of fairly quickly dissipating bubbles, but they're tightly packed. When I swirl it, I think we'll get some nice glass lacing off this, but at 4.5%, there's no alcohol legs. Very effervescent, and it's a golden yellow color. So take a look at that one. And now it's time for the aroma. Big citrus, pine, dankness. I can smell some malt in there too, like some sweet caramel malt. A bit of grass, little herbal floral notes going on. Dominant tone is that, oh, a little bit of peach too, yeah. Dominant tone is of peach, melon, citrus, then pine, and then a bit of dankness. And in the background, some sweet malt. Okay, smells nice. Let's get a taste of it. Cheers. Not bad. Not a citric acid bomb. This one's very peachy tasting to me, and tangerine tasting. I get that right up front. In the middle, I get a bit of dankness, a little bit of pine, and in the back end, it kind of just fades away, kind of like an IPL does in a lot of ways. Very sessionable, which is what it's supposed to be. This would be a real good crusher for the beach if they had it in cans. I don't know if they do or not. Didn't research that. But as session IPAs go, this one's fairly tasty. So I'm going to kick back here a little bit. I'm going to sip on this a little, cleanse my palate with some water, and I'll be back with the Rebel IPA. See you in a second. Okay guys, I'm back. I sipped on this a little bit more. It's not a bad made beer. As you sit and drink it a little bit, the Rebel Rider IPA that is, you get a little bit of that crackery malt that comes out, but you don't have a bitter fingerprint. It's got a nice dry finish. Not a bad beer, especially not for a 4.5%er. So let's get to the beer now that started this whole family off. The Rebel IPA. This is a single IPA or American IPA, whatever you want to call it. Clocks in at 6.5% ABV and 45 IBUs. Now, in Rebel IPA, for hops, are using Cascade, Simcoe, Chinook, Centennial, and Amarillo, or Amarillo, whatever you want to call it. Now, for malts, it's a little bit different. In the Rebel Rider IPA, they were only using 2-row, but this one, they're using 2-row, and they're using Caramel 60. So, I'm not sure why the difference, but maybe it's because this was the first one. So, let's get the top popped on this. Boom. Ooh, nice can of smoke over that. Another obsessively collectible crown. And let's get it in the mini snifter here for my good buddies, local guys at Jailbreak. Okay, so let's get the appearance on this one. A little darker golden amber color. Both of these beers have been super, super clear. Lots of active bubbles coming up from the bottom. We got a solid one finger head of fairly tightly packed bubbles. A little bit separation soap sudsy in them, but I don't know how much glass lacing we'll get on this one. And there's some tiny alcohol legs starting to appear on this one. You'll get that on a 6.5%er, but it's a more golden color, I assume, because of the addition of the caramel malt. So let's see what's up in the aroma department on the Rebel IPA. Fairly flat nose. I get some citrus, some pine. It actually has more of a faint aroma than the Rebel Rider IPA did. Citrus, a little bit of pine, but very, very faded smelling aroma. And this is a really fresh beer. It's saying this is good until August of 2015, and this is April when I'm shooting this. So this is super fresh. Very, very faint nose. I get citrus, a little bit of pine, and some malt sweetness, but that's about it. No alcohol. So time to dive in. Nothing else to say. Cheers. This also has sort of that peachy taste that the Rebel Rider IPA had. It tastes sort of like if you had a glass of orange juice in some ways and you left ice in it, and you get that watered down orange juice taste. That's what this kind of reminds me of. Or some kind of citrus juice, or maybe even because there's some pineapple flavors in there, a watered down fruit juice. I get a little tiny bit of pine. There's no dankness to speak of. There's some the sweetness is totally balanced out and kind of nullified out the hop flavors in a lot of ways. This is very much an entry-level IPA. I can tell by tasting this. This was brewed as a mass appeal kind of drink as opposed to something spectacular or a real display of the style. It's okay. Like I said, alcohol is totally hidden, fairly easy drinking. Actually, as you drink it, the bitterness builds up a little bit more, but it's in the front of the palate, not the back. Fairly easy to drink, but nothing super spectacular. So anyways, let's move these guys to the side here. I'm going to cleanse my palate, and then we'll get back into the Reber Rouser IPA. See you in a minute. Okay, guys, I'm back. Got the palate all cleansed with a bit of H2O from the Rebel IPA. Now it's time to get into the Reber Rouser DIPA. Now, this beer clocks in at 8.4% ABV and 85 IBUs. Now, a beer like a double IPA is supposed to be all about the hops now, isn't it? 4 hops in this beer. They're using Bravo, Galaxy, Zeus, Simcoe, Centennial, Cascade, and Amarillo, or Amarillo if you want. So, malt-wise in this, like the Rebel Rider IPA, they're using only 2-row. So, why is that? Showcase the hops, of course. That seems to be like the Cali style. So, time to pop the top, get in the snifter. Now, the top on this one is black as opposed to the blue, I guess because it's a higher strength. Maybe it's one of their Imperial beers. Boom. Nice hiss off the top. Another collectible crown. Let's get it into the snifter. Alrighty. Let's see here. Ooh, pouring with a lot more head on this one. Interesting. Alright. Let's see. Alright, the color on this one's a little bit deeper, a deeper caramel color, and the head on this one is actually a nice off-white color or eggshell color. The other ones were maybe just getting into that eggshell color range. Super tightly packed bubbles. Even in this little snifter, I got a 2-finger head and I did not pour it hard. There's not the active streaming bubbles coming up from the bottom of this one, but we're going to get some alcohol legs off this for sure. Yep. And we're going to get some nice glass lacing. But take a look at that. It's got that nice sunset orange color that the IPA is supposed to have. So, let's see what's up in the aroma department. A lot of citrus. That peach note that's coming through all of these beers is in this one as well. I wonder why I'm smelling peach so much today. Like I said, must be these beers. I'll get a lot of pineapple juice off of this. This one smells a lot more juicy than the other ones did. The Rebel Rider IPA had some nice floral aromatics, but they weren't juicy. Like I said, the Rebel IPA aroma was kind of flat, but this one is juicy. It smells sweet and fresh. I get a little bit of pine, a lot of citrus zest, a little bit of grassy herbal and dankness coming on. But the peach is really and pineapple are really what I'm getting off this. This one smells really nice. Time to dive in. Cheers. Up at the front, I'm getting pineapple first, actually. This is the first DIPA I've had that's been real pineapple forward like this. Really nice glass lacing, like I thought. In the aroma, there was no alcohol. In the taste, there's no alcohol. In the middle, I'm getting like grapefruit zest. And then in the back, I get a bit of pininess and dankness. On the sides of the tongue is where the bitterness is setting, kind of that herbal, dank, sort of hot bitterness. But up front, there's like peach mixed with pineapple. Then you go to the center, you're getting grassy herbalness and pine. And in the back, light dankness and totally hidden alcohol. I think this is a pretty well-made beer, well-made DIPA. It's not a big mind blower, but it's got some cool flavors going on. And like I said, it's, at 8.4%. When it's totally hidden like this, you go down to crush a few of these. I think this is sold in 4-packs, or maybe it is 6. You crush a 6 of this, it's going to crush you at 8.4% because the alcohol is very well hidden. And I don't have these super cold either. These are probably about 50 degrees at the time of consumption. Well-made beer. Big pineapple forward for my palate anyway. So, I'm going to cleanse my palate off this, collect my thoughts a little bit, then we'll do our Cuvée, tell you what that tastes like, and give you a roundup grade. See you in a minute. Alright gang, it's Cuvée time. That's right, we're going to do our blend here. So, we've got about all equal amounts in here, and as you can see, let me put them out here. You can kind of see like the color difference. It goes light up to darker, which I guess is how it should be. So here we've got the Rebel Rider, we got the Rebel, and the Reber Rouser. So put the Rider in first. I don't think the order matters at all. Not something like this anyway. Got the Rebel going in, and we'll dump the Reber Rouser. Let's see how these smell together and look together. So, appearance, it looks like now the appearance of the Reber Rouser. It's kind of that nice burnt orange color when I swirl it. Look at that, guys. Nice glass lacing and nice alcohol lace clinging to that glass. It actually looks really nice in the glass, man, when they're combined like that. Wow, look at that swirl. Ooh, beer porn. Anyways, time to get the aroma. Wow, even bigger peach than I got before. Wow, mouth-watering peach. Pineapple, sweet like candied citrus now. No alcohol aroma at all, and there's a bigger dank tone in the back when these have been combined together. Wow, and there's like a little bit sweeter, more floral tone in the background as well that wasn't present before either, but man, that peach and pineapple are really big in these beers, and combined it's even bigger. So I'm ready to dive in and see what's up in the taste department. Cuvée time, cheers! Nice. Just like with the aroma, there's a bigger peachy note, but there's more dankness in this combined beer, but a higher level of sweetness, like almost more balanced in total. This beer, the Rebel IPA, had a lot more sweetness and really nullified hops. This beer was more hop forward, not really acidy, but a lot more hop flavor and like bare naked hop flavor with just a minor support of malt. There was a decent amount of balance in the Reber Rouser IPA, but it was still hop forward and had more dankness and that big peach and pineapple, and I think these combined is really tasty. But if we look here, look at this, guys. All three of these glasses have great glass lacing. A lot of people bust on Sam Adams, but they make good beer. I mean, they wouldn't be around as big as they are if they weren't making good beer. It's just a lot of what they're making is not mind-blowing beer. And I think maybe that's their point. They're kind of like the macro-sized craft brewer, even though they're like a 25th or 20,000th of the size of the gigantic macro brewers. They're the closest thing to a huge brewer in craft beer world. So well, combined, this is really tasty. So now we got to pass some grades. All right, let's get down to it. Let's start in the same order, go in the same order that we reviewed them in. The Rebel Rider IPA. God, all these rebels. Anyways, as a beer, all right, Rate Beer gives it a 60, and Beer Advocate is giving it a 79. I think it's a lot better beer than that. I think as session IPAs go, it's probably in that B+ to A- range for me. My palate's a little muddled right now, so I'm gonna give ranges, I think, on these. But I'm saying B+ to A-. I think in hot weather it would be that like A- level. It's made well. It's tasty. It's not a palate fatiguing, sort of session IPA. And to me, those are the ones that are good. Like I said, the flavors aren't mind-blowing, but it has really nice aromatics to it, and it goes down easy and tastes good and is not offensive in any way. So B+, probably my main grade, and on a hot day, A-. So next, Rebel IPA. Rebel IPA, I think, for me, is a kind of a disappointing beer. and I think other folks are kind of in that realm too. Rate Beer's given it a 74, and Beer Advocate's given it 81. I think I'm going to go with a B- one. I'm going to give it an 83. The hops are so muted in it, and it's so malt and caramel forward. This beer's super fresh, so that's no excuse for freshness or anything. Yeah, the alcohol is well hidden, and it's a nice gateway beer, but it's not a beer I would seek out at all. I would drink the Rebel Rider IPA any day before I would have the Rebel IPA. To me, it was a boring sort of ho-hum kind of drink, which, okay, that's fine, but it's not for me or my beer dollars. It's not a bad beer, but it's purely a gateway IPA and nothing else. So, next, last but not least, the Reber Rouser DIPA. I think it's a very well-made beer. That's my initial opinion for you. Rate Beer is giving it a 91, A-, and Beer Advocate's giving it like an 86, which is kind of in that B+ range. I think I'm going to go like 92. I'm going to go high A-. It's well made. I would drink it again. It's a fairly inexpensive beer. I think at my local store, this was like $8.99, something like that, for a 6-pack, or $9.99. Quite cheap. I would pick it over a lot of other single IPAs and maybe even some double IPAs out there. It's a tasty beer, not a mind blower by any sense of the imagination, but it brings some unique flavors in that pineapple and the peach notes that were really up in your face. The alcohol is very well hidden, and I think it's a well-crafted beer that deserves a higher grade. So, now the Cuvée. I think the Cuvée, all these three combined together, they make an A-level beer, like a 94, 95 level beer. It's really tasty. There's great balance in there, and there's a lot of flavors. But are you really going to go out and buy all three of these bottles like I did? Probably not. But if you got them around and you combine all three, man, it's really quite tasty. Hell, maybe putting this in your French press on top of some coconut, man, that might taste pretty awesome too. So, that's me flapping my gums now. For 3 beers, you get 3 reviews for 1. What a freaking value today from DJ in this review. So, to the next DJs BrewTube, we got to talk about something really important. We got to talk about thinking globally, drinking locally, and supporting the craft beer movement, because that, along with supporting that variety and drinking all this beer, keeps the good stuff coming to us. That's right. And something that keeps the good stuff like a smile coming on my face is when you rate, comment, subscribe if you're not already subbed up, and smash that like button. So, to the next DJs BrewTube. Like I said, thanks a million to each and every one of you for watching. Until then, I'm going to Cuvée this bad boy up because it's tasted good together, and I'm going to give you something you want. That's right. What do you want? You know, a big